There's a need to create awareness when it comes to the SMEs, the startup of the SMEs. There are the things that they need to be aware of. And we believe that by working with some of our partners, whether they are banks, private equity funds, by providing the right technical assistance, these are things that will be able, some of the gaps that will be able to be closed. By providing this training to these SMEs, to how to shape them in the best way in order to attract more investors and more investment. We work closely with the banks. For example, last week, we were discussing with one of the banks after presenting the initiative. What we have discussed that if the banks, because what we're trying to do is that it should be also in the strategy of the banks. We cannot go and do something while it's not in the strategy of the banks. So when we identify a bank who has the same strategy, which means working, for example, with startups, working with SMEs, going on the topics like gender oriented, together we discuss to see how best we can build something together. So as I was saying last week, for example, we were discussing with some new partners about the opportunity to put some new tools to support either startups or SMEs. So the discussion and collaboration with the financial institution is very smooth, and together we're trying to build the solutions. We rely more on the financial institutions to some of the projects, most of the project financial institutions, which are more on the ground. They know what are the needs. What we do with most of the tools, we say that there is no limit. Are you willing to accompany us? We look at this, we say, what is your target? Yes, they can describe that you want to go, for example, to be able to do small loans up to starting from 5,000 to 10,000 loans to these SMEs. We discuss together, we see that this is a strategy of a bank, and then together we say, okay, these are the tools that we can work with you to be able to assess, to put in place this new product for your new target. For example, in Nigeria, because we are in a group, of course we are talking about Ghana, but in some other countries, some banks came to say, okay, we want to go to do some loans with no collateral at all to the people who are working, for example, in the market. This was the strategy of the bank. So we're able to accompany to say, okay, if this is what you want to do, what are your needs? Will you look some fundings for this, or would you need some other tools like what we discussed about? We shared briefly, which is a guarantee. Like you go, but if something happens, we're going to cover the risk with you. Actually, because we share the risk with you. So these are some of the initiatives that we do, and a lot of SMEs in Africa, especially in Ghana, are benefiting from these solutions that we have deployed, and we are still deploying and finding new ways to deploy them. Already partnering with them. The world of development financial institution, it's a small world. We know each other. We have some meeting where we meet each other to understand what everyone is doing. We have some discussion, because at the end of the day, the objective is how we are able to provide tailored solutions to the SMEs. So we have this relationship. When it goes to those we work with the partners, some partners, sometimes when you're trying to work with them, if they are already working with some other financial institution, they're going to say clearly that we are already working with this financial institution, and then the next step will be what else against what are the other needs that are not covered yet, and then we come as a complement.